After the discovery of the Dreamstone, countless people use it to make their deepest desires come true, but it results in the creation of supervillains, wars, and even massive storms. Today, we'll be recapping the plot of Wonder Woman 1984, 2020. From a young age, Diana was trained by her mother to become a great warrior. Growing up on Themyscira, an island of Amazons, she quickly showed remarkable skill despite her smaller size and strength. Diana learned to use her weaknesses to her advantage, excelling in activities that required physical ability. However, during a competition, she fell off her horse and chose to take a shortcut, which was against the rules. Her mentor, Antiope, stopped her from winning after discovering her cheating, teaching Diana a lesson about truth and honor. Years later, in 1984, Diana lives on Earth among humans, dedicating herself to protecting them. One day, she stops a robbery in a mall where criminals hold a young girl hostage. Using her lasso of truth, Wonder Woman subdues the criminals and leaves before the public can discover her true identity. Meanwhile, Diana struggles with the loss of her love, Steve Trevor. At her workplace, she meets Barbara Minerva, a brilliant but socially awkward scientist. As Barbara investigates ancient artifacts, Diana offers her help, and they come across the Dreamstone, an artifact believed to grant wishes. Though skeptical, Diana quietly wishes for Steve's return. Later, the two women bond over lunch, sharing stories about their past relationships, with Diana revealing her love for Steve, a pilot who perished years ago. That night, as Barbara heads home from work, she is accosted by a drunk man who attempts to harass her. She calls for help, and Diana suddenly arrives, throwing the man aside with ease. Barbara is left wondering how Diana could overpower him so easily. Instead of going home, Barbara returns to the office, where she uses the Dreamstone and wishes to become as strong and confident as Diana. The next morning, Barbara wakes up in her office, hurriedly changes her clothes, and bumps into Carol, who asks her to show Maxwell Lord, a major oil tycoon, around the Smithsonian. When Diana meets Max, she senses something off about him and becomes suspicious of his motives. Despite his appearance as a successful businessman, Max is struggling in the oil market and is running out of time to repay his investors. Later, Barbara, feeling more confident than ever after her wish, buys a stunning dress, catching everyone's attention for the first time. She agrees to spend time with Max, who steals the Dreamstone while kissing her. Meanwhile, Diana is shocked when she meets a mysterious man who claims to know her, only to realize it is Steve Trevor inhabiting another man's body. They reconnect as Steve adjusts to his new form. After Max secures the Dreamstone, he makes his own powerful wish at his office, setting the stage for his next move. Max isn't satisfied with making just one wish. He desires to become the Dreamstone itself. As a result, the stone crumbles before him. The following morning, Barbara realizes she has gained extraordinary strength, while Diana wakes up next to Steve and is thrilled to find that everything from the previous night was real. Despite her happiness, Diana decides to investigate how the Dreamstone was able to bring Steve back in someone else's body. Meanwhile, Max visits one of his investors, Simon, and convinces him that his company, Black Gold Cooperative, will gain international recognition. After helping Steve adjust to the 1980s fashion, Diana takes him to the Smithsonian, where Steve marvels at the technological advancements, particularly in aircraft. Max then learns that his oil wells are overflowing with profits, bringing him immense excitement as he faces a flood of investor calls. When Diana asks Barbara about the Dreamstone, she learns that Barbara had lent it to Max, believing it was just a fake. Rushing to Max's office, Diana and Steve break in and find research materials on the artifact. Diana contacts Barbara, asking her to locate the exact origin of the stone, suspecting it may have been created by a god, making it far more dangerous than they realized. Steve then discovers Max has booked a flight to Cairo, giving them a lead to follow. Diana decides to pursue Max and takes Steve to the Smithsonian landing strip, where he selects a jet to fly. Although the control panel is unfamiliar, Steve quickly adapts and starts the plane. As they begin takeoff, a security alarm is triggered, alerting the guards. Diana, realizing they are in danger, uses a hidden ability inherited from her father, Zeus, the power to make objects invisible. She successfully cloaks the plane, allowing them to evade detection. As they fly, Steve is mesmerized by the fireworks celebrating the 4th of July, experiencing them for the first time. He takes the jet above the clouds to witness the display from above, while Diana admires his flying skills. Meanwhile, after researching the Dreamstone, Barbara is emboldened by her newfound strength. She encounters the drunk man who harassed her the previous night and brutally retaliates, nearly killing him. However, she refrains when a homeless man witnesses the scene. In Cairo, Max meets Amir, the oil king, to strike a deal. When Amir refuses to give Max his oil, revealing that he has already sold it to the Saudis, Max takes away his security force instead, leaving Amir vulnerable. Max also grants Amir's wish to create a massive wall in the city, resulting in unforeseen consequences. Diana, spotting Max in a car, quickly buys a taxi and goes after him. Seeing Diana and Steve approaching, Max orders his guards to eliminate them, and the soldiers start firing. Diana quickly dons her Wonder Woman costume, determined to fight alone to keep Steve safe. Using a truck's steering wheel as a shield, she takes out one gunman, but soon more soldiers arrive, and she is shot. Hiding under a vehicle, Diana is in danger until Steve intervenes, using a car to destroy a tank's cannon. Despite dodging attacks, Wonder Woman finds herself trapped between two cars, but Steve again comes to her rescue with a tank. Spotting children nearby, Diana pushes a vehicle off the road to save them, using her body to shield them when she falls. Afterward, she and Steve notice helicopters heading towards the city, realizing that a massive wall has been constructed, cutting off poor communities from their water supply. As panic spreads, Diana contacts Barbara, who informs her that the Dreamstone has appeared throughout history, leading to the collapse of civilizations. The trio seeks out a supposed Mayan shaman, who explains that the Dreamstone destroyed the people who used it. After its devastation, the survivors buried the artifact, hoping it would never be found again. Diana learns from ancient records that the wish-granting stone was created by Deke Chalafria Ero, the god of lies. The stone grants wishes, but takes the user's most valuable possession in return. This explains why Diana started losing her powers after Steve returned. To stop the disaster, the only solution is to destroy the stone or reverse all its granted wishes. However, since Max Lord has become the stone, destroying him would also mean losing Steve. Faced with this realization, Diana struggles with the decision, while Barbara refuses to give up her newfound power, fearing she'll revert to her previous self. Meanwhile, Max, growing weaker after granting wishes to powerful figures, continues his quest for more influence, even striking a dangerous deal with the US president. As he grows stronger politically, Diana confronts him at the White House. But when she tries to stop Max, Barbara intervenes, attacking Wonder Woman in her weakened state, setting the stage for a fierce battle. Steve chases Max as Barbara, determined to protect her new powers and lifestyle, fiercely defends her gains. In their battle at the White House, Barbara becomes aggressive, attacking the security guards, while Diana, with her dwindling strength, tries to prevent any casualties. As Barbara fights to let Max escape, she warns Diana that continuing the chase will lead to her destruction. As chaos erupts in Washington, Steve realizes that for Diana to regain her powers and stop the catastrophe, he must return to the afterlife. After an emotional farewell, Diana renounces her wish, restoring her full powers. She then flies toward Max, who is broadcasting a message promising to grant people's deepest desires, causing global havoc. Equipped with Asteria's armor, Diana confronts a transformed Barbara, now resembling a cheetah with enhanced powers. The two engage in an intense battle as Barbara, fully embracing her new identity, viciously attacks Wonder Woman with her sharp claws. Diana uses her armor's wings as a shield against Barbara's powerful attacks, but quickly realizes that they won't hold up for long. Despite Barbara's fragile appearance, she possesses immense strength and is fiercely loyal to Max. Realizing she has no choice, Wonder Woman discards her wings and confronts Barbara directly. After taking her down, Diana uses the lasso of truth to escape, but Barbara pursues her. Both fall into the water, and as a power cable threatens to hit the lake, Diana tries to reason with Barbara, urging her to renounce her wish. Barbara refuses, forcing Diana to electrocute her to stop the danger. Despite their fight, Diana rescues Barbara from the water. Diana then confronts Max, but he's surrounded by a whirlwind, preventing her from getting close. Using the lasso of truth, she shows him the devastation caused by his wishes, and Max, realizing his son Alistair is at risk, renounces his desires. This undoes all the wishes and saves the world from catastrophe. Afterward, Max finds his son and vows to be a better father. Months later, during Christmas, Diana walks through the streets, reflecting on how humanity has recovered. She meets the man who was Steve's host, but feels gratitude rather than sadness for the brief time she had with Steve again. If you enjoyed this recap and want to see more breakdowns of your favorite movies, make sure to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest recaps. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future content. See you in the next one.